and welcome everybody. We are back and we are in charge once again. Our buddies at Tabletop Journeys have been doing fantastic for themselves, and they threw out the gauntlet, if you will. They slapped it down on the table on the role-playing table.
Oh yeah.
And they said, you guys got to get back into the studio. And we said, you know what? You're freaking A, right? We got to get back into that studio. And we found a studio, someplace that actually can handle us, can handle this vision of grandeur. So
and hopefully the real owner doesn't find out we're down here.
Shit, you didn't remind me of that one. So we have a whole bunch. We're going to just call this like the brain fart edition because we want to roll into this. We're going to be recording every week now. We're super excited about this. We'll be bringing back a lot of the favorites that we were doing before, the guides. And of course, we just want to get a couple more because we literally just got back on the gaming table again. It was so fun to actually be sitting across from people, rolling dice and joking. And
you actually get to play.
Right, exactly. And I'll tell you what, it sucks when you have such a huge hiatus because, you know, all you want to do is just be with your buddies. You know what I'm saying? And one thing kind of leads to another, and side conversations kind of get in the way of gaming sometimes. But it is so nice to sit across from people. And in case you didn't know, Lee is our buddy over at Tabletop Journeys, and he plays both D&D and Dead Rain with us as well. And his character was just introduced into our group, and it was rather interesting to say the least.
It was good. Good times.
It was fun. Some really good ideas we threw around. This team seems to be gelling pretty well. Seems to be true.
I think we've had some great sessions.
I will say
for a group that was skeptical of the whole game. I think everyone's starting to have fun.
Are you actually surprised by Jake's weight?
I was.
I didn't know he was that big. The character is 380 pounds, and he is on a horse, a Clydesdale. We are literally trying to take this vehicle, and here's homeboy, 380-pound Southern man, running on down.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if you can do it, man, do it on a Clydesdale. That's what I always say. That's a war horse.
The thing. Let's give credit to him. So not only does he create like a large character like that, but he figures out how he finds the largest animal to carry that large character.
Can I just say I actually feared for him on that particular moment, that setup that you had. I thought out of anybody that was going to be in real danger, it was going to be him. And I told Rob this. I was like, dude, I think if anything, he's going to be. He's toast. He's gonna be making like a death roll. I guarantee it.
But
so
no,
it was great times.
So good.
It was great times. We want to get a couple more games under our belt before we actually get some people on to what we call the DM GM reviews. I'm super excited about this because it gives our players a chance to kind of like, you know, tear us down, sort of say.
Dungeon Master, Game Master report card.
Absolutely,
doesn't happen enough.
It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be fantastic. So one of the things that before we had to take another break, unfortunately, because this COVID thing is just out of control, man. So out of control. But it seems like with the vaccines and everything, I mean, we're actually, our bars are actually staying open till 11. Did you know this?
No, I didn't.
They just literally ran it open like 2 days ago saying bars will be open till 11. My mom actually told me this. I was like, I was at the bar the other day. I was like, Mom, what? You got a fucking more incredible social life than I do. What the fuck? But no, the bars are open until 11 now. So it seems like things might be finally starting to roll down to normal, which means we can actually start gaming like on a regular basis, which will be fantastic. A lot of 40K games are going to be played. I got my Space Wolves, which we'll be talking about later. Alan, our buddy there, he's going to be picking up both Dark Angels, which, man, they got a huge buff. Huge fucking buff. And, of course, they're his Death Guard. So we're going to have some tabletops on that. That's going to be fun. But the biggest thing, Mandalorian season 2, my friend, break it down for him, please. I mean, if you haven't, you obviously live in a rock if you haven't actually seen this, but man.
All right. So if you are as let down by the new trilogy that just went by, Mandalorian has picked up the slack.
He picked up Chewie's freaking, what do you call that? The bowcaster?
Yeah,
he just picked that thing up and started flinging bolts around like what?
Oh my God. Now, first of all, great action. Really great action. Some of the best action in a Star Wars film.
And without
Jedis.
A lot of people will say samurai Western.
Yes.
And
it's more of a Western.
That does very much fit the par. And
Yes.
if you enjoy something like that, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
The actor who plays the Mandalorian, despite the fact that you barely see his face, doing an incredible job,
Dude.
with the character.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we'll actually be talking about that actor a little bit more in a not so positive light. But in any case, yeah. So style wise, it's very much in line with the original trilogy.
So season
Episode
1,
4.
season 1 was basic. I think it kind of like let anybody really pick up on it. Wouldn't you agree with that? Like you
anybody can watch this show.
Right. Oh, no, absolutely.
Like the
but
first
I feel
season,
like season 2 was made for the fans of Star Wars.
there is a lot more.
Jon Favreau gave us the fans so much. The first surprise, episode 1. What did they hit you with? Boba Fett. I mean, and then you get his armor. And can I just say, Timothy Olyphant is one of those actors that you don't see a lot of, man. You really don't. And he was Hitman. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Hitman, but
he was the first Hitman.
He was the very first
one.
Yeah, I didn't see the other one. I didn't see that one. So I still kind of that's the one I go with. He was good in that, you know what I'm saying? But he's one of those actors, he kind of like comes in and out. But he's great. He was absolutely great in that role, man. Well, it's funny because he comes out and he's all skinny, and you're like, "That's not Boba Fett. Stop it, man."
Yeah. Yeah. What's that? He had that show where he plays a sheriff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So he's really good at playing that
law,
Law and Order John Wayne type.
Yeah. So I guess
he's got the voice, he's got the look. Even as he gets older,
he actually fits the part more, right?
Right. He's got that stoic face, and he's in there with the salt and pepper hair, and he's like this is my town. It's like
it was. He was perfect. He was perfect.
He's found his zone, and it works. But he's also in that Netflix show, the Santa Clarita Diet, where he does comedy really well.
Yes. No, he does. And that's what I like about him. He's one of those actors, like I said, that you just don't expect him to do the things that he does. And he's absolutely fantastic.
He's like, there's like certain actors, when you find out they're going to be in Star Wars movies, you're just like, yes. It was like that with me. It was like that when I might have been one of the few, but when I found out Ewan McGregor was going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm a fan of that indie UK film thing, so I knew him from like Train Spotting and stuff. I knew
him from Train Spotting.
So when I heard he was going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, I was just like, I buy it.
I saw the face, and it's funny. I saw the face, and it was like when he was younger, Obi-Wan. It was kind of like, okay. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until Attack of the Clones, when I really saw him kind of aging, and then
he molds into the character,
and then the final one, the Revenge of the Sith. There, it was just like, that's fucking Obi-Wan. That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But we're getting off track here. So Mandalorian, great writing, great action.
So you get Boba Fett.
Great like scenery. Even though if you really break it down, they don't go to that many places, but when they do, it looks really good.
No, they do it. They do a really good job. Absolutely.
Aside from Timothy Olyphant, some of the actors they've been getting, Bill Burr, the comedian,
dude. His role,
freaking great.
Are you serious? And for those of you that played Star Wars Battlefront 2, you actually in the story know about Operation Cinder because you went through it. You literally went through that. So that is a bit of knowledge that I love that they threw in there, and they actually made it feel like a part of it. And when he blasted Homeboy, I was like, yes, dude, man, that is. And he has actually been quoted to say that he actually hates Star Wars.
Yeah.
But when he read this role, he couldn't pass it up. He said, I couldn't.
Actually, I saw him in an interview recently, and he's like, it's grown. He's like, Star Wars is growing on him now. I'm like, yeah, the check's growing, bro, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
You're about to be an action figure. You love it.
You can't stop. Right. Exactly.
But no, his character is great. Just that whole scene though, where he blasts the officer. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. You've seen it.
If
you guys have already seen it. Stop. You've seen it already.
So when he blasts that superior officer, you're just like, that is classic Western.
That was great. That was great. And you could see it in his eyes too. He stared him down for a second. You're like, oh, this is going down, dude. He's about to launch this guy. Gone. And all of a sudden the other guy's eating he got his dinner tray. He's like, oh, fuck.
and Mandalorian sitting there. And he's demasked.
Yes. That was cool.
At this
point. Got to see his face.
And he's just like, the look on his face. Like, and this is a guy who has killed whole platoons
and
of stormtroopers in the show. And he's just like, what the hell
was like,
just
dude,
happened?
Okay, it's going down.
Yes, great.
So,
that whole scenario was
they
like
gave
fantastic.
us that. They gave us Ahsoka Tano, one of my favorite female Jedis. I don't care. Her story arc, even if you've never watched Clone Wars, you know about her.
I need to throw this out here because I was really happy that they brought out Michael Biehn in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know who that is, he was Kyle Reese in Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
He was Corporal Hicks in Aliens.
Yes.
He was, I can't remember his name, but he was the crooked
opposite bounty hunter. Yeah.
The Abyss. Jim Cameron's used him in a lot of movies.
Yes.
One of my favorite actors, an underrated actor.
Yeah, to see him be that opposite bounty hunter was really cool. He had a really nice scar. They did a really good job of makeup.
Tombstone, one of his best roles.
Great movie, dude. Great movie.
Val Kilmer shoots him in the end. I'm here, Huckleberry, whatever.
Just out of nowhere.
So Michael Bihn's like one of my favorite actors. Yes, he was in Navy SEALs. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But I won't talk about that.
So was Charlie Sheen, and he was probably doing about 14 fucking things.
The fact that this guy who's been in not one but two incredible sci-fi franchises is pulled into Star Wars, it's like about goddamn time.
No, exactly. And that's what I love about this. Right. That's what I love about The Mandalorian is they're bringing all these people in. Rosario Dawson did a fucking fantastic job of actually taking Ahsoka and bringing it to that aged Ahsoka too, because this is after the Clone Wars. This is after Vader's already fucking destroyed her. You know, like pretty much she's doing this now out of, you know, just being a free freaking Jedi. And then we get the real Boba Fett, and he puts on the armor, and dude.
Actually, before we say that, I mean, we say the real Boba Fett. He's currently the canon Boba Fett.
Yes.
The real Boba Fett sadly passed away a couple months ago.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely.
The gentleman actually played him in Empire.
And you've never seen it? Yeah, you never got to see his face. So it actually worked out.
They had a different, originally there was a different voice.
You're right.
Before George Lucas redubbed it with the actor we have now who name escapes me.
Yeah, it's...
But so he's the canon Boba Fett, but I just we should give respect. Respect is due. The original Boba Fett did pass away. But still... incredible job.
But I mean that fight scene, he went to town on them onto them stormtroopers, man. He went to town. I was like, that one stormtrooper was like, get my ass kicked. I'm out of here.
Can we address an elephant in the room?
What's that?
So at this point in the storyline, so Boba Fett is still alive.
Yes.
That means Han Solo is still alive.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I guess we'll find out in the new show.
You don't think Boba, and then the last surprise, and I don't care. If there's anybody out there, drop the comments down below. If the last episode of Mandalorian, what did it do to you when you realized it was Luke Skywalker that was coming off? Like you saw the X-wing, and you're like, I swear to God, this is me.
I was in denial at first.
Don't give me hope. I said that.
Like, no.
I said, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. Don't you do it.
No.
And then he comes out, and then you see it almost kind of looks like a Sith, and you're like, yeah, okay. We've been here before.
If you're a real fanboy, you knew who it was when they showed you the hilt.
Exactly.
As soon as you saw the hilt, you're like, no, they're not. They're not going to do it.
Yeah. And then they went black and white on for purpose, so you wouldn't see the lightsaber. And then when they went to the color and you saw that green, you were like,
no way.
Motherfucker, you did it.
And then you think, oh, they're going to pull something cheesy where you just see the back of his head and it ends. You know, and I'm like...
And there was still haters. That's not Luke Scott.
I need 2 sips for that.
Oh my God, do you need 3 sips for that, man? That was the worst thing. They did so good. So
for a television show budget.
Dude, and can I just say, like, people, this is why the last 3 movies piss us off, but particularly the second one of the last 3 movies, because, excuse me, that is not our Luke, man. No. Our Luke doesn't give up. That whole spiel when he was like, oh, I got torn to the edge. Dude, he's been torn to the edge. Believe me, he's got his hand chopped off, and he found out his father was the Lord of the Galaxy, for freaking crying out loud. This guy has single-handedly brought a rebellion back from nothing. That's nothing for him. And then he does that. He's drinking blue milk off of these weird-titted creatures on the sea. It's like, no, that's not our Luke, man. And then they give us our Luke. And that was, And the best part, did you see somebody did that? They did the side by side of Rogue One and Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian. The set when when Darth Vader comes. Oh my God, dude, it's theatrical. It's just. Thank you. Just whoever, whoever's doing this for us. Thank you from the fans, from the bottom of our hearts, man. I was in tears, man. When I knew it was Luke, I had the tears streaming down my face, man. I was like, this is beautiful. This is beautiful.
I mean, for people like complain about the CGI, give them a break. Mm-hmm. This is the best you're gonna do.
Right. And what are you going to do? You're going to get Sebastian Straw in there, guys? Come on. Yes, I've seen the pictures. Yes, he looks like Luke Skywalker. We get it. But from what we have dealt with before, from what we've seen, this was a win, man. This was a home run, in my opinion, man. This was so fantastic. And to see it, like, and the other part is, somebody brought up a really good part. Luke's R2-D2 is like the ultimate fucking bro, dude. Yes. That dude has been through so many secrets, and he just the whole time he's like, that is a motherfucking bro right there, man.
In most interviews, George Lucas has said the story of Star Wars is actually C-3PO and R2-D2's story. Like, everything is them and stuff is happening around them,
right?
Which is probably another reason why the other movies don't work.
Yeah, because they're really not in it.
He based R2-D2.
I mean, R2-D2's pretty much sleeping the whole time, and then he doesn't come back until Luke says, "Hey,
so did I."
Yeah, but that's true.
But he said C-3PO and R2-D2 are actually based on these bumbling samurai characters from a Japanese movie he once saw, and things were happening around them, and they would just kind of like be heroes by mistake, to kind of trip, fall, save the world. Kind of like he tried with Jar Jar, it didn't work.
Right.
But it's basically their story and things are just happening around them. So I think when they do that aspect, when you look at it through there, it makes sense.
Right. No, absolutely.
Because it starts with them and should have ended with them, but it didn't.
No, and then we can make a whole episode about that, to be honest with you people.
Honestly, if they released a movie that showed highlights of the last 3 films and ended with Mark Hamill waking up going, oh my God, I had the worst dream. I'll give that 5 stars.
I would be like,
I'll give it 5 stars.
There's hope.
Or if you edit it and change the Emperor to Dark Jar Jar.
You know what's really sad? It's super sad. Is I remember seeing the promo for the Force Awakens, and I still actually I went back and I watched the promo again. The promo is amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. But it's nothing that the movie gives you. There is zero that fucking promo sells to you.
What I've noticed with The Force Awakens is I went to see it. I liked it. I do like it.
No, the first, yes.
But there's a but. I don't rewatch it. So, like, to this day, if Return of the Jedi is on the TV, I will probably sit and watch it. That's always been my personal favorite.
I love that one, yeah.
I know Empire is the better
darkest.
Film.
No, absolutely, but
I don't know. Something about Return of the Jedi, I don't know. I like that a little bit more. I like the redemption story a little bit more.
Right.
But even the Empire's incredible.
Oh, it's dark.
Blows my mind.
That's one of my favorites. It shows you like,
and the character development is just so much better. I can admit that, but Jedi is just, I don't know, just something that appeals to me.
No, it is. And like you said, that's you see Luke becoming Luke. Like he went through all the steps. He became he went from farm boy to hero. And, a lot of people can make this, make the actual, discussion that he is the chosen one.
I think that's what pisses people off about the new movies is because we went on this journey with Luke and at the end of it where Luke is kind of at peace and he sees his father, Obi-Wan, and Yoda are just sitting there, and it's just like, okay, great things are going to happen. And some of us have read the books afterwards, and we know where Luke went. And then to see what they did with him as a throwaway character.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, it was. And it was a throwaway character.
A throwaway character.
It was an absolute throwaway. You're not lying, dude. You're not lying at all. But like I said, Jon Favreau has been doing amazing things over there.
You thank Jon Favreau for Marvel.
Yes.
He kicked that off. I don't care what they say. He directed the first couple Iron Men.
Yep.
Produced the Avengers.
Acted in the Iron Man.
He was acted in all of them.
Yeah. Yep.
He's popped up in almost all of them. You got to thank Jon Favreau for helping to create a great universe. There's some hits and misses.
Oh, but, absolutely. With anything, you're gonna have fucking broken eggs. But come on, they never gave up on it, and that was the thing. They kept trudging forward. And Favreau has said, he's no stranger to picking up a comic book. He's no stranger to reading these or running down to he's like us, he's like Kevin Smith. We were one of these guys that would run down to the comic book store at the beginning of the month because that's when those comic books came out and we would have a stack waiting for us. Dude, our entire allowance be blown on these things, like we live this universe. So we don't mind seeing somebody take it and kind of like make it their own thing. That's cool. For us, that brings us nostalgia. You don't understand. Like we had to deal with the 1978 Captain America movie. We had the 1981 Spider-Man movie, the Thor movie. Those were terrible. The only thing that gave us any saving grace.
No. Thor and the Incredible Hulk movie with Daredevil was good.
That was.
I don't care what you say.
That was terrible, dude. Thor was so bad. But this is what we had, people. This is what we had. And to see it so beautifully done now, man, like beautifully done. I mean, and I still to this day will pop in like Guardians of the Galaxy or Infinity War, and I'll find an Easter egg that I fucking missed, or I'll see something that I didn't catch. I'm
gonna throw out a challenge to the MCU though.
Yes.
If they're gonna go this multiverse route, which it seems like they're going to,
with Wanda fucking.
Oh,
dude,
God, that show's great.
God,
so if they're gonna do this multiverse thing. And if they're legit serious about Tobey Maguire and James Garfield coming back,
I'm not a big fan of James Garfield, or you got to do it. You got it.
If you're linking the universes together to make the X-Men
or Andrew Garfield,
Andrew Garfield, yeah. That's right. Sorry. You need to bring Dolph Lundgren in.
Yes.
As the Punisher.
Yes, please do that.
And put him with Thomas Jane.
Yes. Thomas Jane's Punisher was fantastic. It was fantastic
agree
because
disagree.
All right. He wasn't Frank Castle. Okay. There was a time when somebody took over the mantle of Punisher, and he wasn't Frank Castle. And that's what I think Thomas Jane's his character really symbolizes that, because he was one of those guys that no matter how hard you beat him down, he came back. You know what I'm saying? So
I just don't buy this whole so the Punisher punishes.
Yes.
The Punisher does not trick you into hurting your friends.
The best one is the series so far. The guy from Walking Dead, Shane, whatever the heck his name.
Oh, dude, I love that. Did you hear Marvel's giving him? They might be giving him a movie.
He deserves it.
Or bringing him out.
He deserves it. He died way too early in Walking Dead, in my opinion. Yes, he did a shitty thing, but come on, man, that guy was fucking like. Imagine what Walking Dead would be if Shane would still be alive.
I actually liked him in Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know if
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Did you know Jonah, like off subject, Jonah only got paid $60,000 because he wanted to work with Martin Scorsese so bad. Yeah. And Martin Scorsese treated him like shit.
Yeah.
Like he got punched in the face for real. Like there was all kinds of crazy shit that kid went through.
What was that movie?
That's crazy, man.
Copland. Remember Copland with Stallone?
Yes.
Stallone took minimum wage just because he wanted to get Harvey Keitel and
that's
all that.
Right. I heard about that.
He wanted to do that movie with them, and
I think
he won a Golden Globe or something. For it. But
that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Well, you know, if you want to work with certain people, a lot of times it's like
no, absolutely. And I think that's going back to the Mandalorian. That's what they
goes
do,
back to Star Wars. Like if you talk to a Star Wars actor, unless you're Harrison Ford, you're not getting a lot of money to be in Star Wars.
No, exactly. You're just begging to be in it because
it's sad to say, even like Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher was like, they weren't as big as Harrison Ford.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, how many franchises did he launch?
And even they have a cut of Mark Hamill saying that he was going up to George Lucas saying,
but the hair.
The hair. And he goes, son, if we're worried about your hair, this isn't that type of movie. We're in trouble.
He does a perfect Harrison
classic.
Ford.
Yeah, he did that. And that's one who did it. Yeah, you're right.
I saw Harrison Ford on an interview responding to that. And he's like, hey, Mark Hamill is a pretty good impression of you. And he's like, I don't sound like that.
Yeah. He sounds just like that. So, the big movie coming out right now, which we want to bring up and we're super excited about, Godzilla versus Kong. I mean, geez, man. When I first saw the first Godzilla come out, it was like 2000. It was like what 2000, right? 2000
of the new American.
The very first
2000,
maybe 4.
No, 2000. No, later than that. But.
Yeah. It was like 2012. Maybe or something like that. So I remember seeing the balloons. There was like these paratroopers came flying down, and all of a sudden you got a glimpse of like. And the biggest thing is people got look at his stubby legs. Yeah, dude, that Godzilla didn't fuck around, dude. Godzilla when he was like, breath down the throat, ripped that fucking head off like dude, that's no joke, okay? And then they come around not much later, and they come out with Godzilla, King of Monsters.
Well, correction, before that was Skull Island.
Oh yeah, you did have, because he is canon. He is part of the
Skull Island came out, and they
absolutely,
because they hinted at Kong.
They did talk about him.
Godzilla.
Yes,
I think.
they kind of had like because they were showing the Mutos or all the monsters, the different ones, and they were like showing them, and they showed the different ones, and Kong was one of them, absolutely. And then they came out with King of Monsters, and we got Rodan, we got Mothra, dude, and Rodan was badass. But then
I think we got the best iterations of Rodan and Mothra ever.
Yeah, those two were. Dude, that was just, and that aerial fight was absolutely fantastic, man.
Mothra shish kebabs.
Rodan right at the end too, and Rodan was like, "You motherfucker! Like you stuck that in, you bitch."
You know what? You know what's cool about that whole thing too? It's like you don't. These are the little things I pick up on. These little things. That scene is much more intense when you notice that Mothra is looking him in the eyes. Like
yeah, exactly.
Like
yeah, you got me, bitch. But yeah, exactly.
It's like, I'm the Mothra, bitch.
Then they gave us Ghidorah, King.
King
Ghidorah. I didn't think we'd see Ghidorah as fast as we saw Ghidorah, but they not only hit Ghidorah, they knocked it out of the park. And then, for you sports fanatics and people that know me, know I'm a Red Sox fan, they beat the bejesus out of each other at Fenway Park. Two monsters beat the hell out of each other in Boston.
Yeah, They even give you a little jab. It's a bad day to be a Red Sox fan.
It is, dude. It was so funny. But it was so fantastic. And just like they gave us this monster, this Godzilla. I mean, he's perfect, man. Not since I was a boy sitting there watching Creature Double Feature and watching the Terror Mecha Godzilla and, you know, Destroya and all. Dude, I mean, this Godzilla is so fucking badass, man.
You know, when you think of that one in the 90s there they tried to do.
Oh, man, the Matthew Broderick.
And like, how disappointing that was.
Breath. Like, was that even a breath? Did we, like, actually find out if that was a breath or if he just like kicked up enough cars that the fuel injected and just blew, you know what I'm saying? Because there was never actually proven that he had like atomic breath. It was just like
it was like a gas and it ignited when he breathed it out. So
right. So it was like, it's like, okay, you can call it Godzilla, but we all know.
Yeah.
That's why they put all those little mini Godzillas at the end and there was never a part 2 because people were like, please don't do that again.
No.
Please don't.
And that was by the guys who brought you like Independence Day.
Yes.
And they
sold it. The ones who brought you Universal Soldier and Independence Day, Godzilla, size matters, and it was like
this big joke.
The only thing that was really cool was the taco. Remember the Godzilla Taco Bell cups?
Oh yeah.
Like before you even knew what he looked like.
Little car cup holders. Before cup holders were standard in cars, you had to get your own
from Taco Bell. Taco Bell was always, they're a game changer when they came to.
They used to have the best.
They had the best ones.
Movie indoor.
Dude, they had the Wrath of Khan glasses. I'll never forget those.
They had Star Trek 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I'll
never forget those, man, because I remember coming back from New Jersey as a kid and we dropped by Taco Bell and we were like, Wrath of Khan glasses, you can get them all. And we were like, oh, it was fucking great, man. But no, we have Godzilla versus Kong coming out. And for those of you who we're going to hit this up too, if you picked up HBO Max, it's a heck of a deal, man. I think it's like, I don't know if they still have the deal right now, but it was $69. Was it $69.99?
It's like $69 for a whole year. It's like $14 a month.
Yeah, it's
dude, like
it's chump change. It really is, man.
I just started watching Westworld and oh my God, I'm hooked. I watched the first season of True Detective, something I've wanted to do for a while. I'm hooked. I'm not watching Game of Thrones.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
I'm just putting it out there just because you all were so disappointed by the ending. I don't want to be let down.
I kept up here and there. And speaking of obviously the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal is on the Game of Thrones and he was the Viper.
Mm-hmm.
And actually it was one of the bullshit fights that I watched and I was like, okay, this is stupid. I don't want to watch this. And it was the Mountain beating the fuck out of Red fucking Viper. And I was like, man, that was kind of cheesy, but no, it's a heck of a deal. And right now you get all the DC Universe, which if you guys haven't seen any of these, the cartoons of DC Universe, man, dude, from the Paradox one, from the Flashpoint Paradox to the Son of Batman. I just watched Death in the Family, which covered the Jason Todd series. I mean, why can't these guys on the cartoons get together with the guys in the movies? Like, because I mean, whoever they're getting to do the voice acting is impeccable, man. It's the action is. Did you see the Suicide one?
Not yet, no.
Oh my!
I'm watching.
Dude, it was like 12 seconds, and there's like 3 deaths.
I'm watching Death of Superman right now.
That was a good
and
one.
And then I'm gonna watch
the animation in that was great, dude.
It is. I don't like that style of the.
I kind of liked because it reminds me of comics. It reminds me of like kind of like the old like when people were like read the comics and they'd show you like the Flash, like the standstills. It reminded me of that. It really kind of.
I don't know. That look for Wonder Woman and Superman.
That kind of boxy.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But
yeah, but remember Batman the animated series?
Yes,
it was kind of like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't think so. I
know they all have that boxy kind of.
No, I like that style of it. No, it's the way Wonder Woman's uniform is, the way Superman's is, and stuff.
Okay, I got you.
I don't like that style of it.
Yeah.
The story is really good, and everyone's doing a great job in it. Don't get me wrong. The look is what bothers me with that one.
I got you. Okay.
Okay.
So going back to the whole HBO Max, Godzilla versus Kong is going to be one of these said movies that you don't have to go at the theater. You can stay at home and you can watch it, and it's going to be part of this. Tom and Jerry is one of these. That looks fucking phenomenal.
I want to see it.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
I don't care. Funny. I don't care what y'all think.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. Whatever. I love it.
I like any Tom and Jerry where they're actually chasing each other.
Yes, thank you. That's what it's supposed to be. Tom and Jerry.
Right.
But this is a good chance for you to actually see these great movies, and you don't have to worry about going outside, or if you're still worried about this COVID thing, dude, just stay at home and watch these movies because it's great. And just like Ed brought up when we were talking about before we even went on, man, you can drink some beers, you can have some wings, you can literally have spaghetti dinner night. I mean, there's things that's really cool about watching these movies for the first time around at your own house. I mean, you can't really beat up on that. So the big thing that people are talking about, why is Godzilla so small?
He's not.
And I say exactly. I think the first thing that people aren't realizing is when it happened, it was in San Francisco. The first movie was in San Francisco. Okay. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to San Francisco. San Francisco isn't a big city. It's kind of like on water, and they have this huge bridge. So it looks big, and it's a big city, but they don't have like skyscrapers. I mean, they have skyscrapers, but not like
it's not like New York.
It's not like a metropolis, right? Exactly. It's not like Tokyo, where they don't have these huge buildings going to the sky. And King of Monsters was in Boston, guys. Boston, dude. Like, what is Hancock, the biggest building there? Like, seriously, it's Boston doesn't have really big things, and I mean they were like right over on the stadium. So I mean, it's like he's not that big. Like, people are like, oh, he was 200 meters.
The criticism I'm hearing is why is Kong so big?
Well, he was a teen in Skull Island.
There's that too, and someone in another channel brought this up. But on the thing he's got around his neck, there's some kind of chemical thing attached to it. So it's either a tranquilizer, which is most likely, or they're juicing him.
They could be juicing him, absolutely. And it's funny because somebody said, is Rampage canon with Godzilla's world? And I was like, okay. But the same idea was
it's canon with the 90s Godzilla.
Right. There you go. The Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. You guys forgot about that one, huh? The Marvel Godzilla. How about that one? So it could go with that, because that was the whole idea with George and the other guys, is they had that serum, and if George got too big, he would fucking blow up or something weird like that. So I could totally see something like that, them juicing it up.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is the rumors of Mechagodzilla. There are 2 distinct pictures that I've seen. One is, I mean, in my opinion, unless it's just Godzilla in a really weird light, he has the red eyes, and then it looks like he has the red things going up in here, which everybody knows
some
is
kind of red chest thing going on.
Yep. And everybody knows that Mechagodzilla was always silver and red, and that had
he had like some kind of weapon in his chest that would come out.
Yeah, that laser, the laser rocket thing, and of course the rocket things and everything.
The big giveaway is the guy standing in front of this computer monitor, and it says maximum charge,
right?
And it's in front of what appears to be either a picture of Godzilla or something that
looks like Godzilla. Now, if you remember the terror of Mechagodzilla, Mechagodzilla had a Godzilla skin.
Yes.
And he was going around doing bad things to put a bad title on Godzilla. My opinion is the evil guy from the King of Monsters there. He's doing this to obviously get his Mechagodzilla into play, so to say, because he wants to say, hey, these kaiju are going to be around forever. Let's get this mechanical, let's get this Pacific Rim thing going. Mm-hmm. That's essentially what it's going to be. But I'll tell you what, man, if you guys ever seen Ready Player One, I had a stiffy when he brought out that Mechagodzilla, man. That shit was fucking phenomenal.
I still have to watch that movie.
You still haven't seen that? I
haven't seen that yet.
Wow, dude. Yes, please go see that because that's
on HBO MAX.
It is.
So
It's worth it. It's worth. You'll love. I can't believe you haven't seen that one yet.
No, I haven't seen it.
Why didn't you see it?
It didn't interest me, honestly.
The promo was weird. If you watch the trailer, it really doesn't sell what that movie is.
Yeah.
And then if you watch the movie, it's like, holy shit, it's completely, completely different.
I'll definitely check it out. It's on the to-do.
But you guys go ahead and throw them comments down below. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you came across anything new because, like I said, I'm really interested. I would love to see it. And I think what's going to end up happening is I think because they said maximum charge, I think Mechagodzilla is going to get to that maximum charge. And it's going to be a tag team. It's going to be Kong and fucking Godzilla taking this thing on together. And then they're going to face off because we've been told there's going to be a winner. And the title of the movie says Godzilla versus Kong, not Godzilla versus Kong versus Mechagodzilla. So there
doesn't mean one of them is going to kill the other.
Right. No. But it does mean that there's going to be a victor. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ghidorah obviously got the shit smacked out of them. So,
but there's still a head.
There is, yes, there is still a head out there, which we had
theories. We had theories. We do. So, but see it for one reason. If anything, see it for this one reason.
Yes.
They fucking fight on top of an aircraft carrier, bro.
That is cool.
He like climbs up. I'm sorry, when I first saw that
when
trailer,
you saw that freaking blast.
I don't know that they picked the perfect song for it. I don't know what that song is, but Godzilla's like getting up there to scrap and Kong just comes out swinging.
Oh yeah,
and he nails him with that haymaker, and I'm like, oh,
dude, yeah, it's there. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. If you don't like it, you don't like movies.
Yeah, I agree with them.
Yeah.
So I got my little goodies over here real quick.
We love goodies on this show.
So obviously, we have Warhammer 40K, and I've taken the wolves. I was Blood Angels not too long ago. Unfortunately, with this edition, they kind of did our boys dirty. So they have the Space Marines now have the ability to have an apothecary, and a super apothecary can literally heal like a whole unit back. They took the ability away from the wolves because the wolves have priests. It's weird. It's interesting.
I'm raising an eyebrow.
But yeah, I know. But if you're smart about it, these guys are a lot more brutal and a lot more vicious than you can imagine. The one thing that I do love about this new edition is they come out with these new cards. Now these cards right here, I mean, back in the day, dude, 40K, when it was Rogue Trader and even 40K, it was a pain in the ass. Like we come up with our own cards because we didn't want to write all this shit down and we want to keep doing the math.
It was a lot to write down.
We did the math, dude. Yeah. Now we have stuff like the guys from Battle Scribe. If you play 40K and you don't have Battle Scribe, man, it's a life changer. It literally is. Remember when you said, "Oh man, I wish I had something that instantly calculated my army." That's Battle Scribe. It's these guys fucking did it, and they update it. Like as soon as the new rules come out, they update it. So these cards right here, the cool thing we've talked about the new edition of 40K, and I've actually played enough games now or I've got enough behind my back, and every army has a secondary objective that you can take. And these cards, not only do you have the psychic powers and you have the deeds and all the stuff that you can actually keep track of. The biggest thing is the secondary objectives. And that's a pain in the ass, especially when you have 3 of them over here and you're trying to figure out what's going on. You're like, oh shit, this over here, your main objective and everything else. These cards are only $15. They come in a very, very nice pack. I mean, they're just like playing cards. I mean, you feel that the quality on them are absolutely fantastic. Like I said, psychic abilities, all the stratagems, all your secondary objectives, all the stuff that your army needs. If your army has a codex supplemental, they're going to have these cards. Pick them up. They're so worth it. Dark Angels just came out with their codex, and one of the biggest things is that I think is OP. Terminators can take over objectives. Terminators now have 3 wounds, and with their 3 up, they're 2 up and 5 up in vulnerable save, 4 if you have your shield there. They're gonna be tough to beat. They're gonna be real tough to move out. Now, back to our wolves, people. We don't have to worry about holding objectives. Why? Because we have Thunder Wolves, people. We have Thunder Wolves and we have Outriders. Now, you want to hit these guys as fast and as hard as you possibly can. Thunder Wolves have a movement of 10 inches, and so do your Outriders. It's going to be a fast-hitting army. You're not going to have a whole lot of shooty shoot, but you're not going to need it because you're going to have Thunder Hammers, and you're going to have Lightning Claws, and you're going to have some Chain Swords up in there, and you're going to get those numbers down as fast as possible so they can't score objectives. The Wolves are brutal. They're very brutal. The one thing that I will suggest is grab a priest, or AKA what they're called chaplains now. You have to use a chaplain. They allow you to re-roll charges. That is absolutely sick. So if you got a 10-inch movement, the one thing that you want to do is make sure you're getting into hand-to-hand combat. You move 10 inches, you roll that 12. Well, you don't roll a 12. You roll a 1 and a 2. You turn to your chaplain. Now you're re-rolling that shit, man. That's what you need to rely on. The Blood Angels, when they come out with their codex, I think they're going to do a lot of spinning around from what they did for our Wolves. But I want you guys to keep your heads up, Wolves fans out there. We still have a lot of tricks up our sleeves. We might not be able to bring back from the dead a lot of the things that these other guys can do. We might not have Terminators that can hold objectives, but we have still the hardest hitting hand-to-hand army out there. Guaranteed. And let's not shake a stick at Bjorn, the fell-handed one, because they actually made him pretty fucking OP.
That's
Check
my
him
boy
out.
right there.
Yeah, he is really nasty. He will hold that, and it's really hard to take him down. I ran him last time, and I was very impressed with him.
I would just
Super
like
happy.
to say, rest in peace to my old Space Wolf Codex. As I had this thing for 20 years.
Yeah,
or
you
so,
did, man. It was original. That was original.
Yeah, Rogue Trader original Codex.
That's when
eaten by my dog.
Ragnar Blackmane was still a captain, and he wasn't even a freaking supreme commander, dude. Now he's like second in command of the whole Wolf Battalion.
He was the top guy. No, he was definitely the top guy. No, it was weird because they had one set where he's leading a squadron, but they had him as an individual
that's
decked out as the Lord. So
yeah, I do remember
he
that.
had just become that, but they were still pumping out some of the same miniatures.
Because it was the same thing with Taicho.
Yeah.
They were doing the same thing with Taicho. Taicho had that headdress thing.
This was back when they were all, most of them were pewter still, and but he had just become the Lord because he used to have that ability to howl. And,
yes,
and the howl would.
They still have they do have still this rage howl thing, and as long as he's there,
it would add. Oh my God, it's been so long. It would add like pluses or
well,
something.
now you get to re-roll to hit.
Yeah,
with him around, which is fantastic. And
then
it
doubled charge, I think.
And
you
then if you
charge twice the distance.
Yes, yeah.
Because I remember I used it against Alan and his chaos.
Yeah.
But he just like a brick wall.
So he allows you now to re-roll the hits. But one of the big things, if you run an all Space Wolf faction which why wouldn't you? If you roll a 6 to hit, you pick up that dice and you get to roll again. So if you're lucky and you start getting some 6s, man, you can do some major damage. Let that happen Wolves. With like the thing is they took away a lot of our frost weapons. We don't have frost weapons anymore. They're like weapons that you can take, like whatever they call them, the choices there. I forget but yeah, you can't just give people frost unless you're wolfing. Wolfen magically found frost weapons. Like, why don't the Space Wolves just be like, give me your fucking frost weapons, assholes? But no, they can keep them. I just kind of like, there was something about a two-handed frost axe that you could just roll in there with, and I guess maybe that was OP, and I guess they kind of like got, they got to do whatever they got to do.
You could like cut through Terminators like
you could. It was nasty.
So,
it was nasty. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It was nasty. And the frost claws it was like +1 to strength and then +2 to the fucking AV. So yeah, I can see why they kind of got rid of the frost weapons, but at the end of the day, I think there was a couple of things that they took away from us that I don't think we should have. And if you're gonna give every other Space Marine army the ability to raise up something and we're talking full wounds here. We're talking like if you got one of those ATV machine gun things out there, that's 8 wounds. And that apothecary can bring that thing up with 8 wounds back.
Wow.
Like, and we can't do that, so it's like there's going to be, I imagine there's probably going to be something comes out and they say, hey, look, we're going to get this done. And, whatever, a rules change or whatever, especially after this Dark Angels Codex comes out, because Dark Angels, that's gonna be fun. I am looking forward to playing the Dark Angels army, because that's gonna be the ultimate battle of Rush and Stoic, because Dark Angels like to stand their ground and wolves like to rush. So and of course there's always that little background that they have of the wolf and the lion, that cheap shot that that Lionel Johnson took on our man Lamont Russ. So Wonder Woman real quick. We'll break it down. I know we got to, man. We got to address that.
So going back to what I said about Pedro Pascal,
yes,
bad. I don't know if it's because of him or just the material he was handed. I think they expected, just because it was him, that he would carry that movie. I think he might. I guess he did a good job considering.
No, he didn't do bad.
He didn't
do bad.
DC movies.
He was. You know what he reminded me of? You remember Civil War? Yes. You remember Baron Zemo?
Yes.
That's what he reminded me of. He was like, he wasn't good. He wasn't great. He wasn't bad.
Well, DC has the same problem with their movies that I think Marvel has with the rare reception, is their villains, I'll say in their solo movies, aren't great at all, if you really think about it.
No.
So Red Skull, okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't bad, but he was okay.
He got pwned in the first movie.
Right. Warmonger in the first Iron Man. Love Jeff Bridges. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was more about Iron Man.
No, it was.
Iron Man 2.
Whiplash. Yeah.
And what Iron Man 3, a total bullshit movie.
Yeah. Mandalorian, that wasn't the Mandalorian. Right. That was, man. It's like, man, what the fuck are you doing? And now there is going to be one?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw the little short films they did.
I didn't see them. I saw the up.
Look them up on YouTube. So the actor that was pretending to be Mandalorian, actually gets abducted by the Mandalorian.
Okay.
And it kind of ends there. It's just a little short film. Look it up. It's great. You got to watch it. If you haven't seen them, watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, the first Avengers, decent villain, Loki.
Oh yeah. So but Loki was also kind of,
Loki was getting built up.
Yeah. I was gonna say he was definitely built up, and he actually did a great job being that villain.
Yeah. So that, I mean, obviously Thanos is a good villain.
Yeah,
Obviously. I know you and I are in disagreement about Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I didn't care for it too much. You loved it. I liked the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, absolutely. The first one was still, it was, as far as bringing a team together, they did it perfectly.
Right.
But they did that perfectly.
Usually they put so much into the heroes, in my opinion, that the villains kind of get left on the wayside.
Yes, absolutely. Good point of that is Ultron is, he was so easily could have been Thanos. I mean,
Ultron should have been better than he was.
I agree.
James Spader was great.
Dude, James Spader he's a class, dude. That guy's just been in everything. He's done everything. I mean, if you've never watched Blacklist, I'm sorry.
Right. No, he's freaking great.
He's fucking the best in that movie. That was designed for him. He is red. Jeez. Black Panther with what's his name? His enemy, Killmonger. He was a good. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was a good enemy or if it was Michael B. Jordan that was just fantastic as that role. You know what I'm saying?
You need both.
You do. Yes. No, you're absolutely right.
You need both because, I mean, I don't think just anybody could have played that role.
No.
So the actor.
No, you're right. You're right.
Why am I forgetting his name? I freaking love him. The guy who plays Luke Cage.
Oh, yeah.
From
Jessica freaking Jones. Why did they cancel that?
I can't remember his name, but I don't think he'd be a good Killmonger.
No, you're
Michael
right.
B. Jordan.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He was supposed to be up for Killmonger?
No, but I'm just using that.
I got you. Okay.
I'm using Marvel actors as an example.
Right.
So he played a great Luke Cage, but I don't think he'd be a good Killmonger.
No, you're right.
I don't think Michael B. Jordan would be a good Luke Cage.
No, absolutely not.
Even though the man is cut, he's not big enough.
He's not big, right?
No,
exactly. And Luke Cage is a thick dude. He's like Hulk, not like Hulk, but he's a bigger dude.
A big dude. So right. But now DC, it runs into the same problems where they tend to build up their heroes and their villains are kind of weak, with some exception. Heath Ledger, classic. Jack Nicholson, classic.
He lost his life for that one. I mean, he literally became the fucking Joker. Right.
Jack Nicholson, classic as Joker.
Yeah. Jack Nicholson.
I know I'm in the minority here. I thought Jim Carrey was a terrible Riddler. I thought Tommy Lee Jones was a terrible Two-Face.
Yeah, nobody liked those movies.
Yeah,
who liked those movies?
I'm just saying.
Seriously, nobody liked those fucking movies. The bad nipples came from those movies. Right. People, come on.
Danny DeVito as a Penguin, I didn't like it. Now, if you're just talking the DC universe, so let's start with General Zod was okay.
Yes, the first one.
In Man of Steel, General Zod. Not a bad actor. Not a bad actor.
Yeah, the actor was good. Yeah. The whole Zod portrayal. Yes, I can see where you're coming from. It was very tacky. It was very cliche, if you will.
I think the problem is I think the character of Zod has become a little cliche too. Because
yes.
You hear Zod and you're just like, son of Jor-El, kneel before Zod.
Yeah,
and
kneel. He's all about the kneel. He's like Loki.
Yeah, and you got this power-hungry megalomaniac, whatever you want to call him, sociopath.
Yeah.
And this General Zod is like, I'm just doing my job.
Right. No, that's what he kept falling back on. Like, this was my job. This was what I was supposed to do. Okay, psycho, but your planet's gone.
Right.
Like, you don't have a job no more.
It's like you want Superman just looking at him and be like, learn to code, bro. Learn to code.
It's fucking over. Go find another planet to go hang out at.
Exactly. So that I kind of didn't like. Batman v Superman, Doomsday.
Man,
a fucking Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, it really was,
with glowy eyes.
It was. That could have been so good.
And Lex Luthor.
Good. Yeah, and oh my God, Lex.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I mean, who was the enemy? Wanda, right?
Yeah, I forget what it is.
I think it was Wanda.
Or DC's version of Wanda, or is Wanda the Marvel version of her?
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
A lot of these DC characters came out first, you know. I mean, we'll see how this Snyder cut of Justice League comes out. But,
yes.
Yeah.
No, we know. We know. I mean, come on, dude. This was like, you could have had anything coming out of that. I mean, even just bring up like Darkseid and, like,
Well, here's the thing. I get that you got to have Steppenwolf before you
No, you
bring
do.
in
No,
Dark Side.
You do.
But
You do.
he was so
Dude, he's just bad. He was bad.
You know what he was? You know what it was? It was like okay.
Did you see the pictures of what he could have been?
Well, it's what he's going to look like.
Yeah. I was gonna say let's hope. Like Jesus, man.
I'm looking
why
at
do they do that?
Okay, I'm looking at like I can buy this.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm gonna give that movie a chance. I still like Justice League, but I know it is not great.
No, exactly. I wanted it to be. That's the fucked up part is I wanted it to be.
Well, because you've been waiting for it your whole life.
Yes. No.
All right, and so the first Wonder Woman movie too. So.
Well, the first one was fantastic. We fucking loved that movie.
I'm just talking the villain.
We're
just talking villains right now.
Once again, victim of CGI debauchery. Like, why did you do that?
It's like, well, even with all the CGI stuff, I couldn't get away from the fact that this was like a middle-aged Englishman.
Yes,
and and no disrespect to any middle-aged Englishmen, but
and even the voice acting was good, but it was just like, it just didn't fit, man. He was just like so bad,
and it was built up. He was built up to be so much, and then it's like this is it.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, okay, well that went by. And I thought the tank that she took on
was still good.
No, absolutely, still good. It was fantastic.
So and then Aquaman.
Aquaman was
good movie.
Yeah, like we said, Liquid Thor.
Who was the villain? Exactly.
Oh, it was William Dafoe, right?
No, William Dafoe was teaching him.
Oh, that's right. No, William Dafoe was his teacher.
See, this is my point.
Yeah.
This is my point. So it's like you see.
It was somebody that was the other kingdom. Wasn't it the other kingdom that was trying to attack him or something?
The actor's name is Patrick something.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes.
I can't remember his name.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
I can't remember his name, but.
Oh, Black Manta.
Yeah. Was it? No. He was one of them. I liked him.
Yes. No, he was cool.
I actually liked him.
Yeah.
So I'll say that villain was good. The main villain, though. The Aqua villain.
Yeah. No, okay.
Forgettable.
Yeah, no, absolutely very fucking forgettable, obviously.
It's like,
it was the other king there. It was that other.
You say Batman Begins.
Was it Dolph Lundgren? Dolph Lundgren was in that too, right?
I don't think so.
Wasn't he the other king?
Oh, maybe he was.
He was the other king. He was the other king that fucking started the whole fucking.
He's one. Yeah.
Sorry, Dolph.
It's like, if you say Batman Begins, immediately you think Liam Neeson. And you think, I always say his name wrong, Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow.
Right.
Who are great, I thought.
Right.
You say the Dark Knight.
All right, so I love Liam Neeson, but to buy him as Raja Ghul, though, that was a stretch. Like, it didn't even fit the character, though.
Well,
I mean,
at the same time, though, he wasn't immortal. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He wasn't.
This was
Raja
these are realistic
Ghul.
interpretations of some of these characters.
Yeah, but then you get Bane.
What? What's not to buy about Bane?
Bane was pretty much modified.
He didn't like.
Well, he didn't juice up. Yeah, that's true. He didn't do the whole juice.
The mask thing was to stop the pain in his face, which made more sense. So
yeah,
it's a little more realistic portrayal.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. That's a good point.
Talia is a little more,
No, Talia definitely.
Talia and Bane having a thing is kind of weird.
Yeah, but
still you remember him.
Well, he Batman had to go with Catwoman at the end. So.
Oh yeah, she was in that
movie. Like we said, forgettable.
Which brings us
to
the latest one, which we thought, like we were saying, even Shazam's villain's kind of weak.
Oh yeah,
still.
Yeah, it was. But still Shazam was such a great movie. Yeah. You look past it.
We had to throw out Shazam. I mean, we're gonna mention Shazam. So we had three
because it was great.
Decent.
It was great.
I'm gonna say decent. 3 decent DC movies in a row. And so Wonder Woman 84 is coming in. You think, all right, this is going to keep it going.
You think it's going to be fantastic. Are you serious?
You think it's a slam dunk? Like the trailer looks great. The Blue Oyster music is great.
Fucking fantastic. Yeah, everything.
The first 15 minutes of the movie, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, what just happened here? Like, the race was kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? like, but it felt unnecessary. Like, it really felt
forced.
Yes, it didn't even
felt forced.
It felt like there was a forced.
It's like this little race is giving away the whole plot point of the movie.
Exactly.
And then
not to take shortcuts.
And I'm okay. I grew up in the 80s. You grew up in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
The 80s were pretty good.
Yeah.
This whole thing where it's like the 80s are bad. And like you see the kid walking around with a giant plate of chili fries and like all this crap's going on. It's like, okay. that's not
like,
the entirety of the 80s.
It was like Captain Marvel. They actually like sold it to us. They were
well,
like,
it's
hey.
like it's this whole the whole idea of like, oh, everyone was living in excess. I'm like, it's because people had an excess.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a bad thing.
I said,
but
didn't we have a band called Excess? No.
Moving on from the politics of the movie, because unfortunately it's littered throughout it.
It is terrible, dude.
Yeah, it's littered throughout of it. And funny thing about the mall scene, all right, I'm just going to throw this out there. There's rampant sexism in this movie.
Yes. For as much as there was no sexism in the first one, right. You know what I'm saying? Like they threw this shit out like it was to the
point where she catches these 3 dudes robbing a jewelry store, but she lets these little girls go robbing a clothing store.
Yeah.
Like she pretty much lets them go.
No, yeah.
And there's just little things that are so stupid about the movie where she jumps in front of a camera in her cool little pose. Then she takes the camera out after it's already captured video of her.
Yes.
And you wonder how Bruce Wayne was able to like pull shit on her.
No shit.
You know,
exactly.
It's like, it's just okay. They're taking no care whatsoever in this movie.
Yeah. No, there wasn't a lot of fact checks. And then, like I said, I'm sorry. Cheetah just looked horrible.
The actual Cheetah, when she's finally
yes, I had no
Kristen
problem.
Wiig
Oh no, she was great.
I thought Kristen Wiig was great.
She was great, and even her wanting to be Wonder Woman, that excessive wanting to, like, oh, I could do so much with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she drilled it. But then all of a sudden, it's like she comes out and you see the eyes, and I'm like, oh god, they did not. They did not. And then she just she comes out from the shadows, and you're just like looking at Cheetara from Thundercats. And I'm like, dude, is this the rejected live action version of Cheetara right now? Is this what I'm looking at? This is so bad. It was bad.
And okay, so we talked about Pedro Pascal.
Yes,
being great.
We love him. We love him.
I love Pedro Pascal. Like I said, I don't know how much to blame on him.
I just think they expected him.
The Max Lord character up.
Oh yeah,
so bad.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
So bad.
I don't think they can save it.
The Wishing Stone, which has been in the comics, they fucked that up really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. I'll forgive a lot of stuff because it's a movie, but he's just so. He's got no motivation. He's got no motivation for his character other than I was like, his dad was mean to him. He wants to make his son proud, so he's going to ruin the world. And they don't even follow the rules of the Wishing Stone. We were talking off camera about it. And so like everyone gets one wish, but Cheetah gets two.
Yeah.
For some reason.
And he's like,
first wish to be like Diana, and the second wish to be an apex predator.
Right.
Which happens to be a cheetah.
Right.
Cheetara. You gave her a sword. Thunder.
There it is, baby. I'd still, hey, give me that though.
Then there's the Steve Trevor plot line, which we kind of agreed.
Hey, Chris Pine was
stupid plot line, but Chris Pine is the most likable thing in the movie.
He really is. He ain't lying, dude. He absolutely is.
I mean, he's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the only one who's really true to his character.
Yes,
from the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you said, his honor and his look. I didn't die for nothing. Right.
He's still a soldier from beginning to end, to the point where he's fighting with FBI guys and he picks up on their tricks pretty quick. He's like, wow, that's cool. And he just turns it around.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he does it to another guy and he's like, I just learned that. So, I mean,
no, he did. He was really good. And it's funny because
this isn't, you want to do a movie called Steve Trevor, do a movie called Steve Trevor.
Hey.
This is Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman is an
was
asshole.
Supposed to be, yes, she was
in this movie. She's an asshole.
She was a bitch.
Now, I won't say that because she's not like all in your face like but she's just the choices she makes.
She was very selfish. Man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's very fucking selfish. Like for what she was Queen Maeve.
Show's over. That's the movie.
Pretty much, man. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works.
And it's like the Wonder Woman character is just you expect so much more from her.
Yes.
And it's just not there. She's just like, oh, Steve Trevor's the only thing in my life ever, and I want to have him back.
But he was, man. He was. I like Chris Pine. I hope they do, do more things with him. And, you know, I learned something today, actually. And it's funny because when people get involved in like Star Trek movies, Star Wars movies, they always kind of like, they fear that they might be that actor, right? And I forget who it was, but originally he was supposed to play Picard. And Gene Roddenberry wanted him so bad to play Picard. And if I show you this guy's face, you'll be like, oh my God, it was him, right? Well, in the interview, Gene was like, I've seen all your stuff. I want it to be you. It's got to be you, right? And he looked right at Gene. He goes, Gene, I got to be honest with you, man. I don't know. I don't know if I can handle the rest of my life being around people with 2 to 10 heads. I can't do that. I just can't do that, right? People like Chris Pine. People like what's his face? Superman.
Christopher Reeve.
Oh my, no,
Henry Cavill.
Cavill, dude. Oh my, he just loves the people. Mark Hamill. You know, like they embrace not only the world of sci-fi and of the comic, they embrace the people. And you got to realize when you come into a genre like this, you have diehards. And the sci-fi universe and the comic universe are just as passionate as sports fans, if not more. And you got to respect that, and you got to realize that. And the actors that portray that and do this, like your Henry Cavill's, like all these, I got nothing but mad love for these people, and I really do. I hope they find something for Chris Pine because he was great in that fucking movie.
Well, if they can get their heads out of their asses, maybe we can get a decent Star Trek movie.
I really do.
With them. I have no problem with the cast. I have no problem with the movies.
No, it's great fucking. As a matter of fact, what's his name from fucking Butcher, Billy Butcher, man, as Bones, man. He was great as Bones. I still fucking loved him as Bones, man. Great job.
You know, we're neglecting something important. As bad as Wonder Woman 84 is, and it is bad.
It's bad.
The post-credit thing is worth seeing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, spoiler alert for any of you who haven't seen it, shut off the tape. That's an 80s reference.
Yeah.
Shut off the tape. So, there is this ancient goddess. What was her name? Something with an A. Oh my God, we're bad at this.
I've always been a Marvel fan over anybody else. Yeah. I've been, I like Batman. I love Superman. Like Superman is the one DC, thing that I will constantly go back to.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, kind of.
There's this goddess that is like their greatest warrior, and she fought off the men. Again, that's thrown in there. And she had the gold armor that Wonder Woman wears in the third act, which she found but couldn't find the person.
And then it just gets beat the fuck out of.
Like, yeah, it didn't last very long.
Like for magic armor, you would think, what the fuck, man?
Well, it's because it's Cheetah.
Oh, that's right. She's an apex predator.
Yeah, she's an apex predator. And so, like after the credits, a telephone pole almost falls on a baby, and this woman that's just walking. At first, you think it's Wonder Woman. She has long black hair. She catches this pole, tosses it over. Woman's all excited. It's like, oh, please, I gotta thank you. How did you do that? And you turn, and it's Linda Carter. And Linda Carter is that ancient goddess who fought off all the men.
Exactly.
And, she gives an excuse for the same kind of excuse Diana gives when she does this crazy stuff. And she's like, oh my God, I don't know how to thank you. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. I've been doing this a long, long time. And she winks at the camera and the movie ends. That's worth it.
Yeah.
That was proper.
Having that Linda Carter reference. You always got to have that. It's got to be proper.
Hey, if those of you want to see something interesting, look for Linda Carter, Wonder Woman deepfake. It's got Linda Carter's face over Gal Gadot's body and all kinds of Wonder Woman clips.
That's cool.
It is really cool. Definitely
cool.
Google search that.
That's really cool. All right, y'all. Hey, we gotta close this out. We gotta get the doggy out, and we gotta get everything going. We are so happy to be back. We want to give a big shout out to our boys over at Tabletop Journeys for throwing that gauntlet down and making us come back.
Get us back into the game. Hopefully, we can do something with them very soon.
Yes.
You can find them in all the same platforms. You find us, iTunes, Google. Where do they say they're at? They're on Amazon.
Yeah, they're actually on Amazon, which was pretty cool.
Something we're not on yet.
Yep.
I'll work on it.
Yep, check them out over there. They are getting their downloads, and they got a lot of cool stuff to check out, guys. So we're going to be cooperating with them a lot. So it's going to be good times, guys. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed and hit all that other happy horse crap, please do so. And my man Twitch and Hardcore, I'm twitching hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
Go check that stuff out. Everything's at the website.
And sign up for the mailing list. We're gonna work on a newsletter once a month for you. You know, we're gonna do some of the hard work for you and find all the great stuff you guys read about in gaming.
We're excited about that.
Movies, anything that we think's interesting. So
super excited. All right, y'all. We'll talk to you soon. We'll be back next week. Love y'all. Missed you.
Later.